More free MLB winners on the show today, including a show best bet that has cashed every time this particular starting pitcher has toed the rubber this season. And speaking of free winners, I think there's a very easy way to make money on this Celtics-Cavs series. So let me bring in Mark Zinno to talk about that. Zinno, yesterday morning I was looking around DraftKings, and they had the Celtics to win the series in 4 and Celtics to win the series in 5, both at the same price, plus 190. I said, excuse me? And immediately bet both of those potential outcomes. Honestly, and you know, I never talk this way, but I kind of think I'm guaranteed to make money with those particular outcomes, both at plus money. Now, DK has shifted the odds just a bit. Since then, Celtics in 4, now plus 145. Celtics in 5, now plus 205. You go to series props and correct score to check those out, everybody. But there's still 2 plus money outcomes. Are we not guaranteed to make money by betting both? No way the Cavs take the series to 6, right?
I mean, it certainly feels that way. However, I mean, I will just say in the interest of factual and historical data, I mean, the Atlanta Hawks were an 8 seed last year and won 2 games against the Boston Celtics. And
True.
We know what the Miami Heat did last year as well as an 8 seed. So, you know, it's not totally impossible for the Cavaliers to steal 2 games. But look, I think there's only one way or 2 ways you can bet the Cavaliers in this series. And that is to bet the Cavaliers in the first quarter or the first half. Because guess what? I don't think there's a game script where the Cavaliers get down by 10 and then all of a sudden shoot their way back into it against one of the better defensive teams in the league. If the Cavaliers aren't scoring early and aren't playing with a lead early and aren't playing in front early, they're not going to do it late. Like, that's just the way this is going to unfold. You have a better chance of a game script developing where the Boston Celtics trip over themselves for the first 12 or 24 minutes and then come back and run in the second half and end up stealing a game away and possibly still even covering. I think that's more realistic than the other game script of where the Cavs are trailing and then get back in it. So if you have any designs on betting the Cavs at any point in this series, I think you take the Cavs in the first quarter, the Cavs in the first half, whichever one you feel, you know, the number is better and the juice is more tolerable, and go forward. I think that's the best way to look at it. I don't know that Cleveland will find a way to win more than 1 game in this series, but odds makers are telling you when they price them both exactly the same that there really is no difference, and we're not about to put a liability out there in thinking that one is likely more probable than the other, when in reality, if the Cavs win a game, it might be because it's game 4 and they just don't get swept.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. If you don't like the sweep, you can get Celtics in 5 and Celtics in 6 also at both plus money. I am just shocked at some of these options we've got in this series, and I concur with you, Mark. I don't think the Celtics are going to do what we saw from the Magic in Game 7 when they vomited all over themselves in that third quarter. The other game 1 on Tuesday is Mavs Thunder. We've got ourselves a runaway total in this one, Zinno. Looking at the WagerTalk odds screen, number has moved from 214.5 to 218.5. I know all 4 regular season meetings saw 221 or more total points scored, but do we agree with that move?
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, look, I much similar to what we saw last night with the Knicks and the Pacers, where that total for game 1 was maniacally lower than what we averaged during the regular season. You're seeing the same thing here again with the Thunder and the Mavs. You're looking at totals from the regular season in the 4 meetings that they had that were around 233, and you open this thing up at 214. Again, 3 touchdowns lower. Like, that's just too much, way too much of an adjustment. I know unders have been coming in, and I know that it was, we saw teams shoot poorly to start the NBA playoffs across the board. I think everything's starting to normalize here a little bit, and you're starting to see more teams, shoot to what their percentages are here. And I would concur that the money is moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and a lot of those poor shooting teams are the teams that are out, right? The bad teams, the teams that were eliminated in round 1. By the way, guys, Zinno has a huge 5% play in the NBA for tonight. He's going to tell you about that just a little bit. Our show best bet in MLB coming up as well. But first, hop in the comments section down below. Let us know who you're betting on in the NBA for Tuesday. Do you agree with all that over money for Dallas OKC? Is betting Boston to win the series in 5 or less as easy as it seems. And let us know who you like tonight in MLB, which is where we're going to turn to next. Zinno, for my half of the daily double play, I like the Astros on Tuesday. Big revenge spot. They were swept, as I'm sure you remember, at home by the Yankees to start the season. In 2 of those 4 games, Houston out-hit New York only to lose by a run. In fact, they led after 6 innings each of the first 3 games, did the Astros in that series. Very unfortunate to be swept. We're getting Verlander as a slight dog. I know you know better than most. He's had the Yankees number for most of his career, not necessarily last season, but for most of his career. Verlander's allowed 2 runs or less each of his last 3 starts since coming back from the injury. I think, looking at the Astros right now, this team has been more unlucky than bad. 1-9 in 1-run games so far. That record should start to normalize. Maybe this is the year the playoff streak comes to an end. Okay, they're 10 games below 500. But most projection systems, guys, still have this team getting back to the Mendoza line, 500. I say buy low on the Stros. Houston, my half of the double play for Tuesday. Zinno, what do you got?
I'm going to show the odds, the fans of the show out there that I can actually learn from my own mistakes. Is yesterday my client play of the Kansas City Royals minus a half run in the first 5. Once again, did not work out because Kansas City failed to score any runs, when in reality, all I should have done with the Kansas City starter on the mound is take the first 5 under, and that's what we're going to do tonight with the Royals and Milwaukee Brewers. Now, usually, when it comes to Colin Ray of the Milwaukee Brewers starting, I remind everybody, you can't spell diarrhea without Ray because that's usually the kind of pitcher he's been, but he's been pretty good this year, 3-0 with a 2.67 ERA, respectable 1.22 whip. He's done very well for himself. Going up against Seth Lugo, probably the ace of that Royals staff, 5-1, a 1.6 ERA and a 1.02 whip here. Both of these teams' offenses have sort of cooled off after very hot starts to the year, and this feels like a good spot, a prime spot for the Royals and Brewers to keep each other at bay once again like they did yesterday through the first 5 innings. So give me first 5 under, 4.5 runs between Kansas City and Milwaukee for my half of the double play.
I like Houston. He likes KC Milwaukee under in the first 5. All right, before we get to the show best bet, I've got to talk about a special offer that Mark and I have going on right now at WagerTalk.com. Limited time only. You can get both of our NBA plays all the way through the finals, rest of the season, everybody, for one low price. This special offer includes every NBA play we release, including 5% max bets for the rest of the season, only $159. That is less than $80 per expert. Sounds pretty good to me. I'm on a 20-8 NBA run. Mark on a 12-5 NBA run, including 6-1 his last 7. And you do have a 5% play for Tuesday. Tell the people about that.
I would like to add, if there was a duo as great as those duos throughout time, you know, Sonny and Cher, peanut butter and jelly, peaches and herb, there is power in Zinno. It's just the best way to go when you're talking about getting your WagerTalk 2-for-1 deal.
Okay, I was going to go with Lennon and McCartney, but okay, Sonny and Cher. I guess I don't know who's Cher and who's Sonny, but what we can fight over that later.
I'm definitely Cher.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Cher.
I got.
If you believe in life after love, there is a 5% play up on the website here for me today. Back in the NBA, as BP just told you guys, it's been a great run, a 70% NBA heater that we've been on since the end of the month of April. 12-5, 6-1. It continues to go up. We're up over 17 units since April 1st in the NBA, and we are 12-6, BP. On our last 18 plays of 5%, so 66% of 5% plays over the last 18 here. Jump in now, man. Just don't miss. We got what we feel very confident about tonight in the association and other plays. So we're going to keep this hot streak going.
Yep, and I've got a 4% best bet locked and loaded for tonight as well, up at WT.buzz/BP. 70% with all NBA since April 1st, long-term, 83 56-2 run, up 67.3 units, going back to last year's finals. Admittedly, rough call with the Nuggets in the first quarter last night. That did not work out well, but at least it was a quick and painful death instead of a long and torturous one, but I'm still on a 20-8 NBA run. So head on over to WagerTalk.com, click the deals tab to talk about or to take advantage of that special offer that we just mentioned. All right, now let's talk about our show best bet. We had Cole Reagan's over 17.5 outs yesterday, Mark. That hit. We're now 64% with show best bets since the morning wager debuted. Tonight, we like a team total in Major League Baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays are at 4.5. And that is a number that every single White Sox opponent has gone over when Mike Soroka is on the mound this season.
That is correct. I am back to fading Mike Soroka once again. I mean, genuinely at this point, he's not a Major League pitcher anymore, right? And for all intents and purposes, the White Sox aren't actually a Major League team at this point either. But we digress. Soroka, 6.48 ERA, 1.62 whip. He's allowed at least 4 earned runs in each of his first 3 starts. Now, his last 2, he only gave up 2 earned runs, but those were against the Twins, and the Twins aren't exactly the monster lineup that you think of when it comes to big bats in the Major League Baseball. Teams are averaging 7.4 runs against the White Sox in Mike Soroka starts this year. Part of that is Chicago bullpen with a 4.33 ERA and the second highest whip at 1.48. Tampa, by the way, has also scored the second most runs at home this season, trailing only the Philadelphia Phillies. All that adds up to Tampa Bay team total over 4.5 runs tonight.
Absolutely love it. Tampa Bay Rays over 4.5, your best bet. Let us know what you think of that down in the comments section below. If you agree or just like what you heard today, and how could you not, feel free to smash that like button, give this show the old thumbs up. We appreciate your support. And we also appreciate all of you who are subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel as Mark and I continue to dole out the free winners each and every morning, Monday through Friday here. If you're not already subscribed, it's very simple. All you do is click the button that says subscribe right down below. That way you don't miss any of our exclusive sports betting content. Mark, another show in the books. I know no one in America was happier to see a Knicks win and Pacers cover than you last night, being the proud son of New York that you are, but someone who bet the Pacers.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to add here as we bid the fine viewers adieu?
I will do the typical New York Knicks fan thing and tell you all to stop bitching about the refs. Stop whining and complaining. The calls look great from where I sat. I thought they were all great officiating from start to finish. And there's nothing like a little hometown cooking an MSG. Go Knicks.
That was a ref show in the final minute, man. Those refs spent about as much time on my screen as Jalen Brunson.
I thought that they called the game properly, adequately, and listen, to quote Rick Pitino in Blue Chips, that's why you're a good official. See, when you make those calls.
All right, for Mark Zinno, I am Bryan Power. Don't forget to take advantage of that 2-for-1 special offer. Until next time, Let's cash some tickets.